Hi everyone, it's Fanny here. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today let's create a simple drum kit using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So first thing is we are going to go to github.com. So you log into GitHub. Once you're logged in, you'll see this button of new. So we are going to create a new repository and we shall call it JavaScript drum kit. Then write a brief description, make it public, then we shall add a README file. And then click on create repository. So after creating this repository, we are going to clone it by simply clicking on code, copy this link, navigate to your file in your local computer. So once you're on your computer, right click and click on git bash here. So we are going to clone by typing git clone and then paste the link from our GitHub. So it's done cloning. You can see our folder is now here. So next thing is we are going to open this folder and we are going to create another folder in it, and we call this folder assets. And inside the assets we have another folder. Let's call this CSS, that will contain all our CSS files. And then also let's create another one called JavaScript. Let's just say JS, which will also contain all our JavaScript files. And then the last one is sounds, and this folder is basically going to have all our sounds. So make sure that you have all the sounds downloaded. So I've already downloaded the sounds from freesound.org. You can check it out. So I'm just going to copy all the downloaded files and just paste them here. So you can see now we have the sounds. So after this, let's open our folder JavaScript drum kit in VS Code. So we have our VS Code open. So we are going to go to File, Open Folder. Then we navigate to where our project is and then select the folder and then open it in VS Code. So now this is what we have: CSS, JS, which are all empty, and then sounds, which basically has the files. So what we are going to do inside the CSS, we are going to create a new file and we are going to call it styles.css. And then inside the JS file, we are going to create a file called app.js. Then after that, outside this folder, we are going to create a new file and we are going to call it index.html. So after creating our index.html, we are going to create HTML structure by pressing Shift, exclamation mark, and then we press enter. So we have created a HTML structure. So let's just give it a title of JavaScript drum kit, and then below the title we are going to link our CSS. Our CSS is coming from assets, CSS, and styles.css. And then we are also going to link our JavaScript just before the closing of the body. And the source is going to be assets.js, app.js. So the next thing is we are going to now start writing our HTML. So we are going to create a div and we give it a class called keys. And then inside the div, we are going to create another div and give it a class key. But then this div is going to have an attribute called data key, and we give it a value of 65. Inside this div, we are going to have the keyboard tag, so which is keybd, and then we choose a letter. We are going to choose the letter F. We are going to choose the letter F from our keyboard, and within that div, we are going to create a span and give it a class called sound, and this sound is going to be a clap sound. So this data key will basically allow you to store the information in this element. So this is a custom data attribute with a value of 65. Now we are going to repeat the same for other keyboards, but then we shall just change the values here and the span. So let's just copy this, make sure it's within the keys, paste it, and then change this to 83. We are following the middle. For this example, we are following the middle keys of our keyboard. Let me see if I can open an on-screen keyboard. Alright, so this is our keyboard. So we are going to go along with these keys in the middle line. So we have the first one as A, the second one is going to be S, D, F, G, H, K, H, J, K, L. So these are the keys that we are going to work with, these middle ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'll make the sound here to be hit hard. And then we are going to copy this. Pretty much we are just going to replicate and then change the keys to 68. Change the sound to kick, the keyboard to be D, and then the next one, let's make it 70, and the sound is open heart. So our next on the keyboard after F is G. So our G is gonna be key number 71, E, F, G. Then name it G. And then the sound is gonna be a boom sound. So let's replicate this again. Paste. And then after G, our next keyboard is gonna be H, J, K, L. Okay. K, L. And then we are going to change the keys. The key number for J is number 74. And then we give it a sound. H is gonna be right. The key number for H is 72. J is 74 and the sound is gonna be snare. K is 75 and the sound is gonna be tom. And then lastly we have L, which is gonna be number 76 and the sound is gonna be tink. Alright, so now we have all our keys here. The next thing is to add the audio. So just below this, so we are going to add the sound here. We are going to use the audio tag and then we shall call each data key and add a sound to it. So what we are going to do is we are going to write the audio tag, and the source of the audio is assets, sounds. The first sound is clap, which is here. And then we are going to add a data key to it, which was 65. So we are going to do the same for the rest of the audios, for each of the data keys. Data key is 83. So we do the same for all the other audios. Alright, so we have added the sounds and this is perfect. So let's open with Live Server and see what we have. So you can see this is what we have. Now next thing is we are going to style. So we want to make sure that we have linked our CSS, which is here. So we are going to go to assets, and in CSS we are going to start styling our CSS. So we are going to style the body, and let's just give the body a background color 063F41. And now we are going to style our first class, which was keys. I hope you remember this. We have our div with class keys. So this is the first one we are starting with. This actually holds everything inside the class keys. Let's go to style. Let's give it a display or flex and give it flex 1. Let's give it a minimum height of 100, vertical height, align items, center, and then justify content, center. So this is what we have now. Now let's go ahead and style the next class, which is the class called key. So let's go back to our style key. We're going to give key also a display of flex and give it flex 1, minimum height of 200 pixels, margin 0. Let's give it a border of 0.4 rem. Give it a color, which is a lighter version of our background color, 0F777A. Then let's give it a border radius 0.5 rem. Margin, let's increase the font size to 2.5 rem. Then we align the text to center. So let's go back and see what we have. So this is what we have. You can see. Let's continue and give it a background of white, which is FFF. Transition, let's transition all 0.7 seconds, which is S, and then just do ease Then let's give it a box shadow of 0.5 rem, and then give it a color RGBA 0.2. So this is what we have so far. Now let's go ahead and style our next element. If you go and see here, we have another class called sound. So let's just go and style the sound as well. For the sound, we are going to give it a font size of 1 rem. We're gonna give the text transform, changing the font to uppercase. So what this does basically changes the text to capital letters. Then let's give it some letter spacing, 0.1 rem. Margin top, 0.5 rem. Opacity, let's give it 0. And then lastly, let's give it a transition, which is gonna be opacity 0.07 seconds, and let's make it ease. So for now, let's stop a bit here. Let's pause here. We are going to add furthermore CSS later on. This is what we have now, you can see. So now let's add some JavaScript for it to interact. So let's go to JS, and inside our app.js, you can see that it's empty. We are going to create a function and call our function playSound. So we are going to create a variable and call it audio, and we shall pass a document.query selector. Then you do a / audio, so it's going to fetch this audio by its attribute, which is data key equals to, we open quotation mark and then add a $, and then get this method event.keycode, and then close your double quote. This is going to select the audio element with the data, and in this case our data is event.keycode. So we are going to create another variable and call it key, and then we shall query this document. For this we are going to get the div, and then the data key is also going to be a key code. Now if there is no audio element, we are going to add an if statement. If there is no audio, then just don't do anything. So let's just do return. So we shall do key dot class list dot add method, and then we are going to add a method playing, and then do audio, which is our variable. We are going to add a property current time and give it 0, and then we call the function audio dot play, and that is it for our first function. So when we go back, you can see there is still nothing happening. Now what we are going to do is, you saw that we added playing here, so let's go back to our CSS and then add a key playing. So we are going to style the class key playing, key.playing. Then we are going to do transform. Let's scale it 1.1. Let's give it a border color 61D9DD. Let's give it a box shadow of 0.02 rem. Then give it that same color. And then lastly, let's do sound dot playing and just give this opacity. Let's give it opacity of 1. And now let's go back and complete our JavaScript. So now after this, we are going to create a function that is going to trigger a variety of properties that we wrote in our CSS, like the border, the box shadow, etc. So we are going to select one of the properties, which is gonna be the transform, and then trigger it here in the next function. Trigger our property. So we shall create a function and call it remove transition, get the event. So we shall create an if statement. We say if event dot the property name. So which property name are we giving? It is the transform. We are just going to return this dot class list dot remove, and then we get our playing here. It's a string. So after doing that, we're gonna go back down and get the variable, create a variable called const keys. This one was key, so this is gonna be keys, and we get an array there. Where are we getting it from? We are getting it from the query, so we shall do document dot query selector all method. This is a method, and then put inside the string, and then we get the dot key. So this is getting this variable here. After that, we're gonna say keys. For each key, we create an arrow function there, and then say key dot add event listener. This is where the action, the trigger is going to happen. So we shall have transitioned, and then here we remove transition, and then we shall say a global variable called window dot add event listener, and then we give it a key down, and then get our function. We are going to call our function that we created right up here, which is called play sound. Play sound, and that is what we have. So let's go back so you can see our keys are here. Let's try to play and see. You hear that? So this is basically a simple drum kit in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you basically control this with your keyboard. So you just press the keys. So whatever keys you choose, you just make sure that you add its keys here, and then basically this is how you build a simple drum kit using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So now let's push this code to GitHub so that you can have access to it. So I'm gonna open my terminal. I'll just do a git add, git commit -n, created a drum kit using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then I'll do a git push. So it will ask us to sign in. Alright, so our code has been pushed to GitHub. So when you go to GitHub and let's refresh our repository, you can see everything is now here. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a basically simple beginner friendly project to start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.